Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kim. I'm a mom, wife, teacher, and content creator. And today I'm taking you on a personal journey. I wasn't sure if I was going to share this part of my life, but I decided to take you along for the journey, not just for me, but for someone else out there who might be going through the same thing. So right now we are planning for a frozen embryo transfer. If you've been following along on any of my other social media platforms, then you know that this will be baby number 2 for IVF. However, the experience is completely different than the first time around with my daughter. So I feel like it's all new to me all over again. My appointment is just for an ultrasound and some blood work, and then I should know whether or not I will be starting my medication, which I'll get into all of that in a bit. This video will be more of a vlog-ish type of style, just taking you along on the journey for my appointments and talking a little bit about the experience, or my experience on this journey the second time around. So let's get into it. So nervous, you guys. Okay, let's go. Yeah, so I just left my appointment. Everything's looking good. I will know more after the nurse gives me a call with my instructions on my medication. So let's just stay tuned. I am going to head to work. Well, first I'm going to get some breakfast, and then I'm going to head to work. I actually have plenty of time before I actually need to be into work, so I might go home. I'm not sure. I'm gonna figure that out, but I will check back in with y'all and let y'all know if I get the green light to go ahead and start my medication. So I'll be back. This is our second go around for IVF. However, the first time we did it, we lived in San Diego. We are a military family. We now live in Illinois, and the process, protocols, all that is completely different. For my first IVF journey, I went through the full process. Like, I had to take my meds to, get my eggs, and then my husband's sperm, make them embryos, freeze them, then wait, then do the transfer. So it was the whole shebang. This time around, we already have our frozen embryos, so it's a lot different. And I'm also doing a different protocol, doing a natural modified protocol. We'll be doing vaginal progesterone and a trigger shot, which is a lot easier on me, my body, and just the stress of the whole process. So if you're on this IVF journey or thinking about getting on the IVF journey, follow along, ask any questions that you have, and I will do my best to answer based on my experiences. Hello? Hello?
Six hours later.
It's a great day at Chick-fil-A. My name is Joyce. What can I get started for you?
This is taking a while. This is taking a while. Thank you. You too. So another thing is, with this whole IVF situation out here in Illinois, is that there's so many different like offices that you have to go to. It's not just like one set office, and they're hella far, at least from where I live. So yeah, just if you live out here or plan to live out here, just know that you're gonna be driving, baby. You're gonna be driving, but it's gonna be all worth it when you have your little bundle of joy in your belly and then in your arms. So this is not me complaining. I'm just letting y'all know that when I say journey, I mean that in all forms. Okay.
Weight, you know what I mean? Like, Daniel weight up, nothing like that, like, colossal, like, you know what I mean? Like,
There's nothing in this world that I just go up to work, but I got plenty of time. They made me take a half day today, which, whatever. Even though I could have been back at work. But they made me take a half day, so I'm going to make sure that I show up when I'm supposed to show up. So I'm going to eat my little burrito in the car. Maybe I'll do a little bit of reading. I don't know. I got time, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. They did not make this burrito with love. Oh no, look at this. You look like an old sad man. What a shame. I'm gonna eat it though, because I spent my monies on it. Another thing I will say about anyone who's looking to start their IVF journey is a lot of people talk about how expensive it is, which it can be, but before you even stress yourself out over the financial aspect of it, check on your insurance through your job, because a lot of jobs are actually covering all, if not most, of the cost. So I would check to see if your job covers it, your insurance covers it, if you have insurance through your job. If you are military, they do cover it, but it just depends on where you live. So in San Diego, they covered everything. I didn't come out of pocket for a thing, but I was also in a place where they did IVF. So if you don't live in a place where they do IVF, the military will still cover it, to my understanding. However, you would have to travel to like somewhere like San Diego, or that's the only one I'm familiar with. I don't know any other states, but you just have to do your research to see what other places, and then obviously they're not gonna cover your travel expenses, so you would be traveling quite a bit depending on your situation. So that would be the expense, but that to me seems worth it versus having to pay thousands of dollars out of pocket for the medication and the different procedures and blood work and blah 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 blah. So yeah, I would, if you're military, definitely look into it, where you would need to travel, what's the closest for you based on where you're located. And if you're not military, just check through your insurance, because nowadays lots of insurances are actually covering a good majority of the expenses. Like my job covers almost everything. Like I've only had like a copay, and that's because the provider I chose, like the doctor I chose, is not technically in my network, but I heard great things about her, so I'm okay with paying a little $30 copay. So that's really, and I've only had a copay twice, so not bad at all in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I'm a bit anxious about when they message me or call me about starting my medication and everything like that. I don't know why. I have the medication, I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just ready to like start. I'm so hungry. Don't judge me, y'all. I'm ready to start, and I'm just anxious to like get the okay already and get the instructions on like, okay, start, and you know, you'll come in and like get the ball rolling, especially so I can like plan summer for my daughter and like what we're gonna do and where we're gonna go and all that. And it's just a little easier when I have somewhat of a timeline for this. So okay, yeah, I'm about to go into work in a bit. Gotta take my prenatal. That's another thing. If you are trying to conceive, wanting to do IVF, you definitely want to get started on a prenatal as soon as possible. Some people say a year before, but nobody got time for that. I mean, yes, you got time for that, but sometimes it's hard to plan that far in advance if you're, you know, IVF isn't, even though it's on a schedule, it's not on a schedule. And that's another thing. Okay, another little tidbit of advice, thing, like from my experience, what I've learned the first time around and definitely this second time around, is that you might have a time frame in your mind and then things just don't go as planned. And I think that's that's one of the hardest parts, but it's also the realest, because for people who don't need IVF, or any type of, you know, IVF, IUI, any type of scientific intervention to help you conceive, you know, even if you're trying to conceive naturally, it might not happen when you think it's going to happen. And I think that's God, right? And so that's the real part of the IVF experience that you have to just accept, okay? It's going to happen when it's going to happen. It's going to happen on the right time, on God's time, on the time that is right for you, okay? So that's just another thing that you have to learn to let go of, even with the whole schedule side of this journey. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop chatting for now. I'm gonna head into work. We're doing like this little trade card game thingy for teacher appreciation, and at first I was kind of like, so I gotta trade cards just to get a gift for teacher appreciation, but it's fun. And I know that it'll take my mind off of trying to check my phone every 5 minutes to see if I got a message or anything like that. So because I'm only teaching one class, and then my day is gonna be open, the rest of my day is gonna be open for the most part. So this little game that we're doing will definitely take my mind off of being anxious and waiting, and you know, so I'm looking forward to getting my cards and seeing, you know, who I'm going to trade with and all that good stuff. So I'll see you guys back. When I hear something back, I'll give you an update and let you know if I'm going to be starting my medication and actually starting the cycle. So I'll see you later. Okay, y'all, it is the end of my work day. I'm headed to go get my baby girl. Finally heard back from the clinic, and I am not starting just yet my medication. I have another appointment just to check everything next week, Friday. So we'll see. I will let you know when I have an update. Bye.